We will definitely come back to, I would say, Maura and Frankie's relationship and how that ties up. We will find out, what's going on with Jane and Casey and where that stands, and that will lead us into a new area for the girls and for everybody. There's some really great crime stories this year. I feel like we're getting in the underbelly of the show in a certain way. It's not, the stories are just really well told. The characters are dancing together in many ways, which I feel happens naturally when you get into further seasons of any series. But season 5, we have that. I think it happens naturally because you're playing this role for so long that you can't just say it's the character, not you. I feel like if you go do a film, you can enter the character for a few months or a period of time, and then you can exit the character. But when it is, something you do year after year, 15 hours a day, there is an overlap. And so sometimes I feel like it's like looking at that story or that scene sort of thinking, well, no, Sasha wouldn't approach it this way, but Dr. Isles would. She would look at it that way and do that. So there is an overlap in the two people. I always say I don't refer to her as Maura. Like if I'll talk to a director, I'll say, okay, so I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, because she is me and I am her. I don't believe she's like a separate person. Do I act like her? No. Do I know the vocabulary she knows? Absolutely not. I'm not good at science. I'm not really good at math. And I definitely wouldn't want to be dissecting, dead people every day of my life. But I do admire her, and she does, she's really fun to play. I always learn something new, and not just the vocabulary, but I really just learn all kinds of new things, and she's got stuff going on in her head, and I feel like we've had a rainbow of emotions that we've had the opportunity to play. I say we because I think so has Angie with Jane. Like, it's been really fun to be able to see, her be so funny, which you wouldn't expect from like a cop character. So I think that we've had this opportunity to do a lot of fun stuff. I really enjoyed last year the episode where Maura goes to jail. I just feel like that was really fun to play. I really enjoy watching somebody who is seemingly really in control of many things in their life lose control. And in this case, here she was stripped of the designer garb and, all of the things she can manage and put into a situation that is really vulnerable for anybody. But to see her in the orange jumpsuit and to see the interactions with these very rough women in prison was just really fragile to me. All of it was just really fun to play, to just see something new. Even the crime, the way it was solved for Maura in prison, and Jane and Susie working on it. Like, I just thought all of that was really well written. I think it's special because from the very beginning, we weren't trying to like shove down anybody's throats that these women were best friends and they've known each other forever, and the audience had to catch up with their friendship. It was more like the audience was right where they were. They were getting to know each other. They were colleagues. They didn't know the idiosyncrasies that we know now about each other. And so I feel like the audience was part of that journey and continues to be. So that's why they get so emotional when they hit that, because they don't know where it's gonna go. Are they gonna make up? Are they not? Or what happens? And I feel like it's also been very honest in the way that they have had a lot of difficult things that they've had to pass through together when Jane shot Maura's father, and a lot of other stuff. So I feel like that part of their friendship, just as women, has continued to grow. And I think it helps that they really respect what the other does, that the other's really good at their job. They're not competing with each other about it. They're not trying to, one-up each other. It's none of that. And they're not sitting around just talking about like who the cutest boy is and fighting over a boy. Like, they're adults, and they're just doing the best they can to, juggle what I feel is their professional life and their personal life. There's parts of Jane that Maura, especially this season, there's parts of Jane that she does certain things that are like the same thing, and Maura's always just like, really? Like, you can't not do that? You can't not have the 5th cup of coffee? Like, where's the discipline? So they're on each other in that way, and vice versa. I think that Maura can get so heady and kind of like, neurotic that, and by the rules, that I think Jane could just lose her mind with it. So I think that's what friendships are about.